I did a tips and tricks video for Pokémon Yellow. I also did one for Pokémon Blue, so why not complete the trio and do some glitches in Pokémon Red? 10 game-breaking glitches in Pokémon Red. Let's go. So the first question is, what qualifies as a game-breaking glitch? For this video, it's going to be any glitch that allows you to do things early, completely skip over stuff, just beat the game outright, kind of like for this one, that I'll go over more in a moment, or just straight up removing any challenge the game has to offer. There's a good chance you've seen this glitch before. It's pretty common for when you want to beat the game stupidly fast. It uses the SRAM glitch, or the save abuse glitch, and well, you can see it already broke the game. That doesn't always happen, and it can depend on a few factors. Normally you're able to watch the credits, but that didn't happen this time. So I'll show you the method that works. However, the save abuse glitch requires you to reset your save data completely. You can do that from the title screen from holding up, select, and B. Thankfully the glitch isn't too hard to set up. You just go through the intro like normal, and after that just get to a point where you can save, which is pretty much any point after starting the game. And once you get to the point of saving, you'll open up the yes/no box, and once you hit yes, basically reset the game as that disappears before the text actually changes. If you do it correctly, you'll actually have 255 Pokemon. You can switch the second one with the 9th with the 10th, and then switch the 10th with the 11th, and it'll give you a pretty good setup. After that, I usually go down to the front door, stand on the carpet there, and find my way to the Master Ball. This is the expanded item bag, another game-breaking glitch that combos well with the save abuse glitch. Changing the quantity of item 36 in the expanded item bag will effectively change our warp location, which is based on the quantity remaining of item 36. So in our case, we're going to toss 138 Master Balls to give us a remainder of 118, and 118 corresponds to the warp for the Hall of Fame, so it can let us beat the game very quickly. Check it out. So I think it's safe to say that this glitch and the expanded item bag both count as a game-breaking glitch. They have very powerful possibilities, especially the warping ability from the expanded item bag. As far as I know, you can warp to pretty much any location in the game, even the glitch ones that are possible. That's all I have for the save abuse glitch. We won't see the end of the expanded item bag. That'll actually come up later for another glitch. But anyway, let's move on to another game-breaking glitch. The glitch I'm trying to do here is called Death Warp, and the reason why will become apparent soon. This glitch can be used to obtain a Pokemon over level 100, kind of similar to the method in Yellow. But the reason why we need a poison Pokemon here, you'll notice, is because there's a good chance that we're going to encounter a Pokemon that won't attack us. So it's good to have one singular poison Pokemon that will faint for you. And as you saw, you need to walk in front of a trainer and encounter a Pokemon at the same time. It's actually kind of annoying. But we'll faint, and you'll notice that we actually encountered that guy and warp back to the Pokemon Center, which is the reason why it's called Death Warp. The reason why the rival is a good option for this glitch is because he can be used reliably to give a Gengar a Nidoqueen. It's based on what the starter he has. Bulbasaur, you'll get Nidoqueen from the battle. If he has Squirtle or Charmander, you'll get Gengar. Usually his starter is the last Pokemon you fight, however, Execute can be obtained if the battle ends with his Pidgey if he switches out. Unfortunately though, Execute is not a medium, slow experience type Pokemon, so it's unable to go directly to level 100. The glitch that allows Pokemon to go directly to level 100 is the experience Underflow Glitch. I'll show on screen now the types of Pokemon that are considered medium slow growth Pokemon. These are the Pokemon that are able to level up directly to level 100. To sum up, you'll see that Mew is included, and that every 3-stage evolutionary line Pokemon is included except for the Butterfree, Beedrill, and Dragonite line. There is something else I'd like to bring to your attention, and that is this glitch can be done more than once and in different areas. The picture on screen shows the different possibilities of making the rival from Route 22, the last trainer you fight. The top set of Pokemon is the first fight on this route with the rival. The bottom set is when you return after getting the 8th badge, once you fight him again for the second time. These are, of course, based on his last Pokemon special stat, and to ensure that the resulting Pokemon's level is level 1, you must growl at his last Pokemon 6 times, reducing the attack stage of that Pokemon to 1, which is what creates the level for the resulting Pokemon. Which you can see here is what I'm currently doing. If you want to do this glitch again on the rival, the same battle, you have to lose it. If you don't care about doing it again, you can defeat the rival. The choice is yours. But at this point, I'm going to show the jump back to Viridian Forest, so let's check it out. Once we return back, this will happen. And we'll get the Gengar. That's the product of Squirtle and the Charmander. So at this point, Gengar is kind of one of the hardest ones to catch, because it's immune to normal type moves. Most of the low level Pokemon have normal type moves, so you can't damage it that way. You can't poison it. You could paralyze, but if you have Pikachu that has a paralyzing move, it's too high of a level, so you can't weaken it like I did. So my recommendation is having a low level Pokemon. Probably your best bet would be like a Weedle, for example, and using like Poison Sting, or just have Pikachu being at a very low level. As I mentioned, Gengar and Nidoqueen aren't the only options. Some notable ones are Ivysaur and Nidoking. You can get those from wild Pokemon in the area. Look at that, we caught the Gengar. Gotta go through the Pokédex entry, yay! Let's open up the Pokemon menu and check out its stats. One thing that stands out right away is the amount of EXP points. As you can see, it looks like a very large number. However, that is not the case. It's actually a negative number. For this glitch, level 1 Pokemon actually have negative 54 EXP. So all we have to do is actually gain less than that, 54. And once the Gengar gains the right amount of EXP, it will go directly to level 100, which is very awesome. And what's even better is that this glitch is possible to do multiple times, so it can be used to get multiple Pokemon over level 100, which is very game-breaking. I also want to mention now this glitch is possible in Pokemon Yellow. There's another glitch that you can do in Pokemon Yellow that you cannot do in Red and Blue, which I thought was pretty neat. That's pretty much all I have for this glitch, so let's see another game-breaking glitch. The long-range trainer glitch is a glitch related to the Death Warp glitch and is the next game-breaking glitch I'm going to cover. It can be done on this guy on Route 24. You'll see here that you need a Pokemon with Teleport or Fly to do it correctly. These glitches are related because they are both forms of the Trainer Escape glitch, or more commonly known as the Mew glitch, which is precisely what we are going to do here. This can easily be done by walking into the Cerulean Gym and fighting the first trainer in the water here. He has a Shelter that has a special stat that will give us Mew. So all we need to do is growl at it 6 times to make it level 1 and return back to the route. Once returning back to the route, our start menu will pop open. We'll close that and get an encounter. This time it will be a level 1 Mew, which is really nice. Now I'm going to have to adopt a strategy I mentioned earlier in the video, where maybe it's good to paralyze the Pokemon you're trying to catch that's at a low level. Typically what you could do is use a Bulbasaur with Leech Seed. That usually works pretty well. But in this case, if you just have a low level Pokemon, perhaps one you caught at the beginning of the game, which is what I did here, at level 2, it works pretty well for weakening the Mew. Another thing that's great about this glitch is that it can be used to get pretty much any Pokemon that occurs in the Pokédex. So it's great for Pokédex completion. There's a list, the big hex list, that shows you which Pokemon corresponds with which index, so of course I'll show that on screen, as well as put a link in the description for you. Once again, we need to catch a difficult Pokemon, this Mew. For that reason, I recommend bringing a crap ton of Pokeballs because it might take a little bit. But once you catch it, that's fantastic, because just like with the Gengar I showed earlier, since it's level 1, it has negative 54 experience, so it needs to gain less than that to be able to go to level 100. What's interesting is you'll see that the total EXP the Mew has is the same as the Gengar from earlier, which is I guess proof that that's what negative 54 looks like. And cue Wild Battle. At this point in the game, it would be important to maybe make a couple switches just in case you get too much EXP, because if you do get more than 54, you will go to level 2, which is not very good. But something else I should mention that's very important is that there is a lockup that can happen with these Pokemon when they have negative experience. If it goes directly into the PC, like for example if I had 6 Pokemon before getting the Mew, it'll go directly into the PC and then be trapped in there. I will not be able to withdraw it. Same thing happens if you put that Pokemon in the daycare, so watch out for that. It's funny, that in itself is kind of game breaking, but there are ways to avoid it. Simply just letting it gain more than 54 experience will take it to level 2. Not ideal, but it will let you put it in the PC. Likewise, if you do the normal, where they get less than 54 and go level 100, that will also stabilize their EXP, so it'll get rid of the issue. Now there's a little bit more I want to show with this glitch, so here's a cut. We're going to do the trainer escape glitch using fly this time. It's a little bit later in the game. I'm going to go to Fuchsia City because we're going to do the Ditto trick. And so why are we going to Fuchsia? Well, that's because Route 15 is to the right of Fuchsia, and that's where the Dittos are. But first we need to fight a trainer and find a Ditto! Once you encounter a Ditto, all you need to do is switch into a particular Pokemon that has a special stat that you need. In my case, it's going to be this Kadabra with a special stat of 200. 200 can yield pretty fun results, so we'll switch into Kadabra. Ditto will transform, and at that point all we need to do is just leave the battle. After leaving the battle, all you need to do is just go back to the route that you escaped from the trainer, the long-range trainer. In my case, it's Route 24, but there are other options, so whatever you chose. Once again, upon returning to the route, our start menu will pop open. Once you close it, you'll get an encounter. This one's special. It's one that occupies Jacred. It has a varied name. Usually it changes based on a couple factors. And it's a glitch battle that you can get, because with the Mew glitch, anything that's indexed 200 or higher gives you a glitch battle, or a trainer battle. Sometimes you just get normal trainers, but anyway. This one broke the game, because it is a game-breaking glitch after all. But that's all for this game-breaking glitch, so let's move on to another one. Now, this glitch, like the Mew glitch, I expect pretty much everyone to know. It's the Old Man glitch. It's a great way to get Missingno and other Pokemon over level 100. So it's pretty simple how to set up. You talk to the old man and watch him catch a Weedle. And then you fly away and go to Cinnabar Island and surf on the coast. So we're going to do just that. Let's start by talking about how this glitch is possible. It is because of how left-facing shore tiles are handled. In English and European versions of the game, traversing the shore tiles uses the previous list of Pokemon in the grass. And during the Old Man's demonstration, the player's name is changed to Old Man, and then is changed afterwards. However, the address D888 in the game's memory, which is responsible for grass Pokemon and level data, remains unchanged based on the player's name, even after it's changed after the fight with the Old Man. And since flying away does not reset this data, it is possible to surf on the coast that treats it like grass tiles using the player's name as an encounter list, will allow us to get game-breaking Pokemon like this. Like Abra, yeah. Sometimes there's leftover data, so you just get random Pokemon too. So on a more serious note, here's the first game-breaking thing about this glitch. We have a Missingno here that's over level 100. Missingno is a glitch Pokemon. It's a bit of an infamous Pokemon, and it has the very nice detail of being able to add 128 to whatever item is in the 6 slot, as long as it's not already over 128. So if we get another encounter, speed it up. And if I get another Missingno, it will once again add 128 to whatever item is in the 6th slot. So in this case, I should have 129 of TM32. This is quite the game-breaking glitch, but unfortunately, there are some compatibility issues between different versions of the game. I'll show on screen now a chart I got from the Glitch City wiki showing each version of the game and whether or not it is compatible with the Old Man glitch. What's interesting is that the German versions of Pokemon Red and Blue can give additional glitch Pokemon that the other versions cannot. If you'd like to see the full chart, I'll put a link in the description for you. There will also be some more information on the Old Man glitch, which is an awesome game-breaking glitch. But now it's time to see another. For our next glitch, we're going to find ourselves here in Celadon City, and our item bag is going to look like this. That's because we are going to try the dry Underflow glitch. You'll see that I have 2 tossable items, a stack of 255 and an Ultra Ball. What you want to do is toss the 2 top tossable items, and then the stacks of 255 will duplicate. I need to toss this top stack an extra time because of the extra item I had underneath the initial stack of 255. I then need 2 X specials to cancel out the other stacks that appeared. You then might ask, how is this game-breaking? Well, it just gave us the expanded item bag, which we said earlier was kind of a game-breaking glitch, but this time we can utilize item slot 35, switch the X special in there, and then we'll enter a paradox purgatory of Celadon City, to where it seemingly loops around forever. There is a limit to it. To get a better idea of how much space we have, take note of how many indexes are in the game. It starts from 0 to 255, so technically there's 256 spaces possible on the Celadon looping map. Each one corresponds to an item. And then for each time we move to the right, the index of the number of the item goes up by 1. We just got a F there, and we're going to switch it in. And this will show you how to keep the items you get that you obtain from the Celadon looping map. So we're going to throw it up to our normal item bag there, switch it in with the Ultra Ball this time, and that's actually going to teleport us on the map, because if you move to the left on this map, on the horizontal plane, you'll actually go down an index number. So Ultra Ball is actually really close. If you know from the big hex list that I showed earlier, Ultra Ball is really close to Master Ball. We go to the right, it'll go up one to Great Ball, once again Pokeball. Keep moving forward to show you get different items, but eventually we'll go back and we'll see a spot where there is Master Ball. What's pretty neat is also when you're in this realm with the expanded item bag, when you go up and down, that quantity in that slot, item 35, will alternate between 1 and 0. And so I was just able to multiply that essentially and got 255 Master Balls. So I want to keep these items, so all I need to do is fly away. Before doing that, I'll show you how to break this looping map of Celadon we have. All you really need to do is just switch the nugget back into item slot 35, or any item that doesn't meet the criteria necessary to create the map you need. And doing that will cause it to break and basically create a glitch city. And the best way to escape glitch city is to fly away. At this point, go into any Pokemon Center and go to the PC and just deposit the items that you got. After that, go to any Pokemart or even the Celadon department store, whatever you prefer, and buy the same number of items you had before doing the glitch. That in itself should be enough to stabilize your item bag. You can tell your item bag is stable when all that's in there is the cancel button and you're no longer able to bypass it. At this point, your item bag is now stable after doing the dry Underflow Glitch to get the expanded item bag to also go into the Celadon looping map, which are all game-breaking glitches, because they allowed us to duplicate items and get the glitch item 8F, which is really huge for the next glitch, which is Arbitrary Code Execution, or also known as ACE. And the reason why glitch item 8F is important is because it points to the Pokemon party data. I'll put on screen now the proper bootstrap code required to make use of the pointer to the Pokemon party data. And yes, I got this from the Glitch City wiki. Once this bootstrap code is in place, 8F will start to execute code from the address D322, which is the third item in the item bag. And it seems debatable whether or not Ace is cheating. I consider it glitching since it doesn't use anything that's considered third party, but let me know what you guys think. So without further ado, let's execute some code. And of course, I'll put all these in the description. This is what my item bag looks like for this one. And this one will allow me to duplicate any item in the second slot. Any non-key item, that is. Upon using 8F, I will actually decrease the amount of the item in the second slot by 1, but it will underflow to 256 or 0. So I have 256 TM21. I'm going to teach one of those to Mew. I'm actually going to toss the remaining of it. Let's say I did that by accident, so I'll show you another script that will actually allow me to replace those. So this script here, there's something important. The TM11 there actually corresponds to something important. If it's 52, if I use it, the index of the item in item slot 2 will increase by 1. If it's 53, it will decrease by 1. So you can see there, I actually got TM21 back. This next item code is simply amazing. It will allow me to get any Pokemon at any level. The Awakening corresponds to Pokemon's level, so I currently had 256, made it 250. The Repel here corresponds to the species index of the Pokemon, so I'm going to have 255, and that'll give me M. Not MM, but Charizard M, which is pretty cool. It has pretty monstrous stats, and a whole bunch of glitch moves. So let's see a couple more glitch Pokemon. Change it. We'll get rid of 25. That'll give us index 230 at level 250. For a second it appears the Pokemon's not there, but that's just an effect of Charizard M. So let's take a look at index 230 Has some pretty good stats besides speed and special. And we have room for another glitch Pokemon. But instead of doing a glitch Pokemon, I'm going to do some odd math here. And get a Pokemon that we've already seen. So we're going to get Index 21. That might seem familiar. When we do it, we'll get a Mew at level 250, which is pretty awesome. Once again, we'll have to unhide it from Charizard M. And there's a Mew with monstrous stats as well. Pretty cool moves too. This Pokemon has pretty nifty moves as well. And there's Charizard M again. You can do some pretty nifty glitches in this game. And that was thanks to this item script, which I'll put in the description for you. And this item code here is quite game-breaking as well. You can see here. You can also see I can't walk through walls. I use it, and now I'm walking through walls, just like that. Pretty freaking sweet. You can also take this a step further, walk out of bounds sort of. Not quite out of bounds, but in an area that you cannot get to normally. You can kind of see the map is a little messed up there. You can also go a little bit farther with this and reboard the SSN using walk through walls, which is different than the normal method. So it's kind of weird at first where we can't really interact with the warp, but it seems that talking to him resets the warp. Which he's a liar. We go in there and we can clearly see the ship did not set sail. Pretty freaking cool. So now let's go surfing and find the truck. The mythical truck that's here for whatever reason. But yeah, it's probably safe to say that Arbitrary Code Execution is a very game-breaking glitch. You can do pretty much anything you want with it, as long as you're sophisticated enough and know enough about game code. Anyway, this is going to conclude this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, consider rating it well. That'll show me that I should keep making videos like this. Well, once again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.